What's up, everybody? It's Monday night. It's the late night agenda. I'm your host Craig, and you're all very welcome along to tonight's stream. Look, ladies and gentlemen, today marks the 30th anniversary of the Hillsborough disaster, a day that will forever be remembered by the Liverpool family around the world. Nobody should ever go to a game and not return home. Our thoughts are, of course, with the families of those that lost their lives and the heroes that fought so long and hard for the truth to be known and for justice to be served. I end every single one of our streams by saying take care of your families and tell your loved ones that you love them. I do that because, guys, life's precious and days like today remind us of that. So may those 96 souls rest in peace and may they never be forgotten. I want to follow up that intro by talking about a little bit of good news that the Liverpool family received today. Former Red Jose Enrique has been given the all clear after being diagnosed with a brain tumour. That is absolutely wonderful news. I seen the image just before I came on air tonight. I wanted to let you guys know about it. I know everybody knew that Jose had been diagnosed with that brain tumour. He's 33 years of age. He's gotten the all clear. It's beautiful news. It is very, very warming news. On a very sombre day for the football club, it's lovely to have that little bit of good news to start off tonight's stream with as well. So, as I said, this is the 30th anniversary of the Hillsborough disaster. We had to start off the show. We had to mark it. You can see the image for tonight's show reflects today being the 30th anniversary. We spoke about that. We spoke about Enrique. Now, guys, it's time to come on and say our hellos. Ethan, Kyle, familiar to billions, Azzy, Patrick, Sebastian, Mossy Kyo, Wolfsy, Died76, Keane, Liverpool Football Club, Andy Robertson, Joseph Stalin, Dave Sweeney, Frank H, Trevor Beattie, who else we got? Cape Town Muslim, Joshua Gavin, Tom Boland, Dylan Cooney, Claire Dean, Brian Kelly, Tiger Alex Byrne, Adrian Hall, Fabian Black, Ella, Thomas Gaming, It's Sasha, Taylor 1K, Liz Golden, Herbie Conquest, Brian Morrissey, Riley Morgan, Mark Hendley, Paul Gormley, Dickie Bow, or Dickley Bow, I think it is, Louis Ten, Jordan Sibley, Luke Mason, Billy. God almighty, there's so many people coming in. Hello, welcome. I'm going to have to give this up. I'm going to have to give up that intro because there's just too many people popping in to say hello. And whilst that's a wonderful thing, God, it makes the start of the show tough. Guys, let's have a little chat about Jordan Henderson. I think it's fair to say that Jordan Henderson has divided Liverpool fans around the world with his captaincy and whether he should play or not. It's time for those that have doubted Jordan Henderson to basically shut the fuck up. We've arrived at the business end of the season and Jordan Henderson has once again stepped up and shown his leadership qualities. Hendo was asked to fill in as a holding midfielder, even though he's a natural box-to-box midfielder. He was asked to do the job because of his ability and his footballing brain. He did it because it was what was best for the team and he did it without a single complaint. I think now we're starting to see the best of Jordan Henderson, and in the past couple of games in particular, where he's had the least, the reins taken off him by Jurgen Klopp, we've seen that box-to-box midfielder. We've seen that midfielder, if we can think back to the 13-14 season before he was suspended, that was shown quite how good he can be as a midfielder. I'm so happy for the guy. I'm absolutely over the moon. Look, I know there's no convincing some people in Jordan Henderson, and to those people, I respect your thoughts on him, but I'd still ask you to show respect to our captain. If you don't rate a player, that's okay. But Jordan Henderson, again, at the business end of the season, is stepping up and showing why he's Liverpool captain. And I just wanted to take a second at the start of the show to just give him a nod. To just say, well done, El Capitan, because since he's come on, he came on, I think, in the Fulham game, himself and James Milner as substitutes. I think it was the Fulham game, could be wrong. They changed the game. And ever since then, Jordan Henderson has just gotten better and better in that role with the leash taken off him. And I think we deserve to give him that credit because he is this football club's captain. There is a chance that Jordan Henderson may lift the Premier League title, may lift the Champions League trophy perhaps at the end of the season. And there's some people who don't want him to do that. I'm not one of those people. I've never been one of those people. Jordan Henderson, for me, deserves absolutely everything that comes his way. I would love to see Jordan Henderson lift the trophy for this football club because he deserves it. And I hope the majority of our fans think the same. Now, anyway, that's my little intro over. Let's see how everybody's feeling. John Hannafy says, well done on the 11k subs. Yeah, it's nuts. I went to bed and I'm not going to lie, I do check the numbers quite a lot. I went to bed and it was about 10,988 and I thought, oh, maybe there's a chance we could just scrape over 11k overnight. I woke up and as the days gone by, we've just been picking up subscribers steadily all day. I don't know why, I don't know how, but I'm eternally grateful. And to those people that have hit that subscribe button, thank you. Right, who else have we got in tonight? Well, we know who we've got in. What else has everybody got to say? Lots of congratulations, which, thank you. I've been here since 5k, said Joseph Stalin's mustache. Justice for the 96, said Claire. Billy Dalton, how are you, mate? Lots of justice for the 96. Luke Borland as well. Lots of people as well sharing their respects, of course, on the day that's in it. Did you hear about the Chelsea fans? Yes, I'll get to that, Louis. I will get to that. It is in my notes. I won't skip over it. I refuse to, even though it's not nice on our fan base. We can, of course, have a chat about the new kit. If you've seen the thumbnail for tonight's show, you'll know that the new Liverpool kit has been leaked. Now, I know some people have their doubts when they see stuff being leaked, but Footy Headlines, and it's a site you've heard me mentioning all the time we've been talking about this kit possibly being leaked, they're usually spot on. In fact, when it comes to Liverpool kits, I don't remember them getting one wrong. So for me, yes, it's a little bit vague, and you want to see more detail, you want to see it up close, but I would bet my bottom dollar that that is the football shirt that we will be seeing those boys walk out in next season. Well, actually, we'll see them on the 12th of May because they usually wear it for the last game of the season. I hope, and like you hope, we all get to see those golden Premier League badge, or that golden Premier League badge on the shirt. But I want to know your thoughts. What do you think of the shirt? Is it a yes? Is it a no? First impressions are that it seems to be a look at the 82 or the 84 home shirts. Yes, it has a rounded neck, whereas those ones had V-necks. But for me, I like it. I like it. On first impressions, I understand some people like the darker red and wanted us to stay with that darker red. This could possibly be New Balance's last kit for Liverpool. I don't know. None of us know what way those negotiations are going with regards to the future kit deal. Last year, that of the current deal with New Balance, I really like this kit. I do. I really, really like it. I love the pinstripes. I love the nod to the 84 or the 82 home shirt, the Crown Paints ones. For me, it's a thumbs up. Connor hates it. Absolutely hates it. And I think it's fair to say on Twitter when we posted this up, and I think LFC Transfer Room were one of the first ones to post it as well, I think it's gotten a mixed reception from Liverpool fans. And like all of these kits, it's much easier to judge them when you have them in the flesh. And I made you guys a promise. When the kit goes on release and when I order it for the first day, I'll do an unboxing of the kit live. I'll hang off till that night and I'll have a look at it live on the stream and we'll talk through it together and we'll open it up and we'll see what it's about. Some other little bit of news. October wrote a beautiful tweet yesterday after the game about the banner held, or the 96 mosaic held up in the Kop, and about the game and about the fans being amazing. And it was a really beautiful tweet. So much so that Ian Rush shared it on his Instagram story, which was lovely. It was lovely to see. I was so happy for October because it was a beautifully crafted tweet, something I couldn't write. I'm not clever enough to write something like that. I'm not talented enough to write something as beautiful as the way she worded it, but it was lovely to see it get some recognition. It was lovely to see Ian Rush think enough of it that he shared it on his Instagram story. Who pointed it out to me? Somebody pointed it out to me and I want to say thank you for that. I can't remember who it was at this moment in time. I'll see them in the chat and I'll say thank you. But yeah, thank you for pointing it out because I don't check Instagram. Who was it? I'm quickly going through here to see if I can find out who it was because I can't remember. But anyway, look, we'll push on. When it pops into my head, I'll say thank you. What's up, Craig? What's with the title? In which sense, Kate? I don't know what you mean. Hendo being revitalised or the kit? Because, I don't know, maybe I've already gone through it and I've missed it. Paul Turner said, remembering the 96. Hello to Liverpool Football Club. Hello as well to Far Isle. Welcome in, mate. Angus Court is in. How are you, my friend? PSN Venom. Riley Morgan. Loads of 96. Justice for the 96, but loads of love for the 96. Of course, you'd expect it on the day that's in it. I did think about not streaming today. I did think about making no content on the day that's in it, but I thought, you know what, we'll go ahead, we'll pay our respects as we rightly should. Hillsborough is something that's forever going to be tied with our football club. It's something that the club will carry forward with us. Those 96 Angels will forever be sitting on our shoulders as we march on. I don't know what else to say on that. I'm not good with stuff like this. I'm always worried I'm going to say something wrong and I don't ever mean to, so I try to be as brief as I can on these type of situations. Again, the last couple of days, the love hearts that have gone into our chat on the stream. It was yesterday, and we had the minute silence in the watch along before the game. The screen was filled with love hearts. It's beautiful, and again today, thank you. It's a lovely way of dealing with the situation and just sharing your thoughts. So thank you to everyone that's put that into the chat. Claire said as well, same for Jose Enrique. Great to hear the news. You'll never walk alone, Jose. Stephen Richards as well, absolutely. Boya, RIP to the 96, forgotten, or will never be forgotten, always in our hearts. Thank you very much, Boya. Classy, you're a classy dude, as we know. Right, let's move on. Let's have a chat about football. Let's have a chat about Liverpool. Let's have a chat about the kit, about Jordan Henderson, about the season. What else we got? Love to you all, to Brian Morrissey. Paul Gormley, been off for a while. Congrats on passing 11k subscriptions. Unreal in such a short time. Yeah, it's nuts, mate. It's nuts. It is nuts in a great way. But I keep saying it. It's because of you guys, not because of us. Did you hear about the Chelsea fans and the Flair incident? Yes, look, I will touch on that. We'll get back to the other stuff, but I will touch on that. So, I want to take a moment to talk about that young disabled Chelsea fan that needed first aid treatment after a flare was thrown from the upper Annie Road end down into the lower Anfield Road end, which, if you're not familiar or too familiar with Anfield, the opposition or the away fans are always in the bottom right hand corner of the Annie Road end. And there was a flare thrown from the upper Anfield Road end into the lower Anfield Road end that required, I think it was an 8 or 9 year old disabled Chelsea fan to require medical attention from inhalation of the fumes, from the smoke getting into the child's eyes, and the child needed first aid treatment. And look, I can't condone this. I refuse to condone this. I mean, the flare seems to have been deliberately thrown, and we've spoken about wanting Chelsea fans to respect the minute silence. We've spoken about Chelsea fans belittling Mohamed Salah. We've spoken about racism in the game. It's only right we call out our own in these moments. Whoever threw that flare into the away fans is a dickhead, pure and simple, an absolute dickhead. The fact that a young disabled Chelsea fan, look, it was minor injuries, but that's not the point. The point is that should not have happened. That is not something that we want to see. I'm not going to lie, I'm a fan of flares inside football stadiums. I'm not going to be a hypocrite and say I haven't enjoyed seeing flares inside football stadiums, but that's when a flare's been held by the person who's lit the flare in the home end. It's against the rules, but when you start fucking throwing flares into the away end, it's not good enough. It is not good enough. I hope whoever threw the flare is found. I hope they're dealt with. I hope the police talk to them. Whatever steps need to be taken, I hope they are taken. And I wish that young Chelsea fan a very speedy recovery. I know we're only talking about minor injuries here, smoke inhalation and stuff, but it doesn't matter. I wish them all the best. And just know that we don't condone this from our own fans either. We can't be quick enough to vilify opposition fans for shit and not call out our own. I've said it time and time again. There are dickheads in every fan base. Unfortunately, yesterday, it was one of ours. And we can't just shy away from that. We have to face up to it. We have to own that. It's one of our own. We need it dealt with. I hope the club do. I hope the person's found. But most importantly, as I said, I hope that the kid's okay. Because that's the most important thing in this situation. That young Chelsea fan that went to that game with their parent or with their carer is okay, and that's all I can hope for in this situation. Right, what else we got? Let's move on. Gareth said, hi Craig, 30 years you'll never walk alone. 11,000 subs now, wow, said Stephen Richards. Liverpool legend Henderson has improved so much. He really has. I mean, it's great to see him in a role that he feels more comfortable in, because you can see in Jordan Henderson that box-to-box role. He has an engine on him, doesn't he? Like James Milner. He's made to go box-to-box. I mean, I remember hearing Brendan Rodgers speaking about it before and saying that's what he does. That's what Jordan Henderson does. He runs box-to-box. He has a 90-minute engine. And it's great to see him get a little bit of the shackles taken off, because he was filling in as a number 6. He was filling in as a defensive midfielder, because that's not his role. And he did it to the best of his abilities, and he did it as well as he can. Fabinho's a natural 6, you can see it. He reads the game. Jordan Henderson reads the game well, but Fabinho, he's more of a defensive mindset, whereas Hendo seems to like to get forward a bit. And I'm delighted that we're starting to see that from him, and I'm delighted that Henderson is really stepping it up when it counts, right at the business end of the season, when we need him. I love flares, but under the right use, said Boya. Exactly, and that's exactly where I am with it, mate. I love seeing flares in the stadium. I've said many times, no pyro, no party, but you've got to be responsible. And I know it's against the rules, and I know I'm technically condoning something that's against the rules, but I'd be a hypocrite if I lied. I've always tried to be honest. No need for that flair. Whoever did that can fuck off, said Stephen Richards. Gonad said, sorry, I'm getting annoyed reading people saying the new shirt is disgusting or it's horrible. On this emotional day, I'm not getting wound up about it, so I'm leaving tonight's chat. Fair enough, mate. That's completely up to you. I won't pass any judgment, mate. As you said, on the day that's in it, it's only a shirt at the end of the day. It's something. The shirt for me is all I like. First impressions, but I really like that shirt. I'm not a fan of V-necks. I'm not really a fan of collars. So this has a round neck, so it works for me. But like anything, you want to see it up close. You want to see better images of the shirt before you make an absolute decision one way or the other. I hope the Chelsea fan is okay, said Scotty. Shouldn't have done that. Chelsea fans, throw it on the pitch. For all I know, you've mentioned throwing it on the pitch. Now, this is a complete guess. Maybe they were trying to throw it on the pitch because if it disturbed or hit a disabled Chelsea fan, I imagine that Chelsea fan might have been towards the front of the lower Annie Road end. Now that doesn't make it any better. I'm just maybe trying to not justify it. No, that's not right. I'm not trying to justify it. Maybe I'm just trying to elaborate a bit on what Scotty's saying about throwing it onto the pitch. I don't know, but at the end of the day, it's not good enough. Hendo is our leader. He needs a song, said Stephen Richards. What colour do you think the away kit will be? I don't know, but you know what, Jersey Boy? I wouldn't mind a yellow one. I wouldn't mind a yellow with a red pinstripe. How would everybody feel about that for the away kit? Or a yellow with red piping? I mean, if we're going retro and we're going to do the retro look, let's go fucking balls out and go yellow and red or white and red for the away kit. Happy with New Balance, but the design's a bit wank, said LFC 1892, excuse me. Why would I say 1982? Like, it's the year the club's formed, dickhead. Come on, it's 1892. Sorry, mate, for trying to butcher your name there. It certainly seems to divide opinion so far anyway. Flair should not be in the stadium, said Liz Golden. Can you please explain? I thought we were getting Nike next season. No, official YC. Liverpool have a deal with New Balance that runs through to the end of next season. So any deal, whether it be with Nike, Adidas or New Balance again perhaps, will start from the 2020-2021 season. So we were always going to have New Balance for one more season, mate. I've been saying that for a very long time. Some people seem to think that there was no deal to be done, or a new deal to be done, excuse me, and the deal was up. No, there was always one more year left on the New Balance deal. But this could well be the last year. It looks like we're looking at a massive, mega deal for the next one, somewhere in around the 800 million mark over 10 years. But there is definitely one more New Balance year. Hendo is a great number 8. The only Flair we want is Ric Flair, said Kev. Woo! Charlotte Flair as well. I mean, we can't just forget about Charlotte Flair if we're talking about the Flair dynasty of wrestling. I want the green away kit. Anybody else? Said Liverpool Football Club. I wouldn't mind a green and white away kit, mate. I'm quite partial to one of those as well. Boya said yellow kits, barf. Yeah, it's the history of our club though, buddy. Yellow kits for us, it's part of our history. I mean, lovely yellow with red pinstripe and a yellow with red pipe, and there's been some great historic Liverpool kits. Actually, the winner of our competition with Score Drawn 3 Retro actually chose a yellow away shirt for their prize, so congratulations to them. Dave Sweeney said, I hate Flares, don't think they should be inside the stadium. Outside, yes, all day, but never inside. Paul Turner reckons yellow or white for the away shirt. I like yellow, but not the red, said Andrew Robertson. Yellow, red and gold, said Willow. Keane said, don't like the way the pinstripes don't go the whole way up the shirt. Reminds me of the shitty Southampton kit this season. Funnily enough, Keane, my daughter said similar about the pinstripe. Now, she didn't go as far as to talk about the Southampton kit, because frankly, she wouldn't have a fucking clue about the Southampton kit. But like you, she wasn't happy about the pinstripe not going all the way up the shirt. Again, weirdly, I think I like it. And what's your favourite song? If we're talking about Liverpool songs, mate, it's The Fields of Anfield Road. I've spoken about why before. It's based off an Irish song called The Fields of Anfield Road that was wrote by a friend of my father-in-law's called Pete St. John. So it kind of has a connection there for us. I love flares and smoke, just don't throw them. I know that's not realistic though, said Brian Morrissey. Cape Town Muslim said, Craig, you must feel vindicated, HENDO, as you've been defending him against naysayers the whole season. I don't know if I feel vindicated, mate. I mean, I shouldn't feel anything because it's really nothing to do with me. I never got it. I never understood it. I've called Jordan Henderson out for poor performances the same way I've called out any other Liverpool player for a poor performance. But what seemed to be happening at times with Jordan Henderson was if he was on the field and we had a bad performance, it was his fault. End of. If he was on the field and we played well, he was never responsible for it, but he only ever got the flack. I always found that very unfair. I always understood that Jordan Henderson wasn't a six, as I think most people did. But he was doing that role because it was what was needed at the time. And it's a very, very difficult role to play the defensive midfield role in a Jurgen Klopp system because you're asked to do an awful lot. But it was never his natural role. You could always see him. You could see it in him. He just wanted to break the line. He wanted to get forward. And now he has that. And you know what? Maybe that time he spent playing in that six, in that defensive midfield role, maybe that will benefit him even more now going forward because he will have an extra bit of defensive awareness, even more so than he already had because he's a quality midfielder. I still stand over the fact that I say he might not be in my starting 11 all the time. But that's okay. We have a good squad. Nobody should be guaranteed in the starting 11. Familiar to Billion said, I love the old green and white squares kit from the mid-90s, 1996. To be precise, buddy, it's one of my favourite shirts. Purely because I love a grandfather collar as well. And that one has a grandfather collar. Craig, I think the away kit will be black with white stripes. Black with white stripes. I'm open to anything, Gareth, buddy. I'm open to anything. Although, you'd have to see something before you make a judgment. As long as it has a gold lion on it, it's fine. Lion, mate? I think you mean liverbird. Maybe, your predictive text messed up there. Who would I prefer, Nike or Adidas? Asked Daniel Marr. For me, 100% it's Adidas. Yeah, 100%. I've said before, apart from the fact I like Adidas or Adidas, whichever way you want to pronounce it, I want those retro kits back. I want to be able to go into the club store and buy the retro kit with the 3 stripes on it. I want that to be able, because as lovely as the retro kits are, they're nicer when you can go and get them with the badge on them, aren't they? Like the Adidas badge. I gave up defending Hendo ages ago. Can't reason with some people, said Tom P. Mr. Steamer, you are in. I knew you weren't banned, mate. And I'm glad you aren't. See, Mr. Steamer. I know Mr. Steamer and Mr. Cuntflap Steamer. I know his comments are very, very strange. I know that he's got a very particular sense of humour. And I know that some people might read his comments and go, what the hell? But you know what? He's a good dude. He's a good dude. He's a little bit eccentric. And he's... Can you be our mascot, mate? Can you be the channel's mascot? Because you know what? I don't mean that in a kind of downgrading way. I mean it in a nice way. Because your sense of humour is right up my street. I'm strange. I find the weirdest things funny. Sometimes I can't read out the comments that you write in, but I do appreciate them. I really do, because I've got an odd sense of humour. So, if anybody sees his comments and finds them offensive, and if you're a mod, please don't remove them, because his intentions are never bad. That much I can promise you. Actually, I'm assuming that you're a man. Excuse me. That person's comments are always just in jest and a bit of fun. Henderson was being played out of place. Now he's back where he belongs, further up the pitch. At Stephen Richards. Familiar to Billion said, Hendo proved why he's the captain. Defensive midfield's a hard role to play. It's a no glory role, which is absolutely true. I had to be so careful there when I was saying it's a no glory role, to not say it's a glory hole, because that really would have screwed me over. It's like having a new player, said Mr. Steamer. If Fabinho is out, we can always rely on Hendo in the 6, which is absolutely true. Scotty, absolutely true. Are you doing a watch along of the United Barca game? Yes, tomorrow. Well, Barca United, if we're being pedantic about it, but yes, absolutely. Tomorrow night, half an hour before kick-off, as always, I'll be starting that one. And then on Wednesday, of course, I'll be doing a watch along of Porto versus Liverpool as well. So I hope you can join us for both of them. Right, what else have we got tonight in the chat? Would love us to go back to Adidas. They've stepped up their game recently, so Paul Gormley. Hope Klein gets back into the squad next year and gets a contract. Really like him, and maybe best right back up in the league. Or right back up in the league. God, that was a tongue twister. I really don't see him coming back, mate. Loaning him made no sense in the first place to me. But now that he's gone out, I can't see him coming back. I really can't. I can see... I was going to say I can see a kid like Camacho coming through, but then you see the post Camacho put out on Instagram after he scored a hat-trick for the under-23s, where he basically said, I'm paraphrasing here, but he said, in the future you'll see that you're wrong. I'm a more forward-thinking player. I've always been like that. It's in my DNA. Something along those lines. But basically he was being very critical of the Liverpool management team and the coaches, and I don't like seeing that from a young player. So I hope he gets told what's what. I don't know if he gets moved on or not. That's up to Rafa Camacho and the club to deal with, but I don't like to see that type of stuff from younger players. There's a time and a place. If you want to talk to your manager, if you're unhappy, then you do that shit behind closed doors. You don't air your grievances like that on social media. Henderson's going to be a huge influence in these last few games. So Brian Morrissey. What else we got? I want a full black kit with a white badge. Full black. I don't know. It's a bit Man United, that, mate. To be fair, it's just, I don't know. It feels a bit Man United, and I'm someone who, being fat, likes black because it slims you down a bit. But I don't know. That Messina strike was superb. Deserved to go in. Clipped angle of crossbar and post, mate. John, it was an absolute belter, wasn't it? What a strike. Definitely would have been goal of the season if it went in, I think. Tristan said, as long as it has the Premier League winners badge. That's the quandary. That's my real issue with this, because I'm saying I'm going to buy the kit and I'll do a reveal of it when it comes on the first day. But at the same time, the earlier you buy it, you can't get the badges if Liverpool go on to win the Premier League then, because you've already ordered it. You could get the badges and add them on afterwards, I know, but I'm somebody who's impatient. I want the kit as soon as it comes out, always. What else we got? I'd take any home kit as long as I can get the gold badges on it, said Azzy. Billy Lar said a gold line means Premier League champions. Oh, yes, Billy. My bad. Didn't cop that one, mate. My bad. You got me on that one. And that would be rather nice, wouldn't it? I want Nike or Adidas, said Arda. Mr. Steamer said, yes, please, I love mascots. There you go. Mr. Steamer. Do you know what? We'll christen this Mr. Steamer, and we will add you as a mod now that you're the official mascot of the channel now. You need to change your profile picture though. We need to get you something funny for your profile picture. Maybe Connor can come up with something there and make you a nice profile picture or something, because we need our mascot looking fresh. White and red, said, who was that one? Said Arda. On the Birmingham News they said Van Dijk will go to United. They must be smoking crack or something like that, mate. Why on earth would Virgil van Dijk go to United? Why? I cannot think of one. Well, money is the only reason I could think of. There's no way Virgil van Dijk is going to United. If that's true, the Birmingham News should be ashamed of themselves. That's ridiculous. Did we ever lose in Orange? I don't believe so. The Knicks bricks. I don't believe so. I think that was a lucky kit. Craig, the vertical stripes makes you look slimmer, said Cape Town Muslim. I'm not really one for stripes, to be honest, but I will be getting this home kit, so we'll put that one to the test. What's your midfield for Porto? For me, it's the same as the last few games. Keita, Fabinho, Hendo. Yeah, as you've said, mate, you can lash in Gini Wijnaldum there instead of Keita, maybe, or maybe lash him in instead of Henderson to rest Henderson a bit. I don't know. I'm more thinking about saving players' legs as well. I think we do need to look forward, and we've got 4 games to go. We've a big game on Sunday away against Cardiff, and then of course hopefully we've Champions League semi-final to look forward to. Yeah, I don't know. I'm happy. We're in a good place with the midfield now. We can make an argument for Gini Wijnaldum. You can make an argument for Henderson. You can make an argument for Keita, for James Milner, and they can all be valid arguments. So I'm going to stick to the point that as long as Fabinho's in there, I'm sound. Have just come from seeing Jim Davidson, said Joanne. Was away to Beamish with my lad when the match was on. Loved the reaction of the thunderstruck goal of Salah. Yeah, that reaction is the reaction's actually had a really nice reaction, if that makes any sense. A reaction that has a reaction. People have actually taken to it, which I like. I'm glad that people enjoyed that one, because I got some stick over some of the other ones, but for some reason people liked that one, and I'm happy. It was just spur of the moment thing, as always. New Rabsy Nesbitt string vest in neon pink, says Farrow9. Oh, Rob C. Nesbitt, mate, that does take me back. Yellow kit as away, classic, said LFC Tim. Saw somewhere that the away kit's meant to be black and teal. Excuse my stupidity. Is teal blue? Bluey greeny, or am I way off on that? Again, as I said, excuse my stupidity here when it comes to the names of specific colours, but is teal a bluey green, or am I way off? You now have the alternative kit we had in 2016. That's what I want. The new kit is the same as the 1980 ones, said Neil. It is very similar, 1984, mate, and it even reminds me of the 82 as well. Alex Ferguson predicting us to win the Premier League. I think I remember reading this. He said that he believes United will take something off City, which will in turn lead Liverpool to win the Premier League. 4 games to go. 4 fucking games from possible greatness for these boys. But at the same time, it's still not in our hands. We need Leicester, we need United, we need Spurs. Somebody to take points off Manchester City. Boom, I'm a motherfucking mod, said Mr. Steamer. I'm gonna put my Cadbury fingers up my rear end tonight to celebrate. Mate, you do you. Just don't let them melt too much, because there's nothing worse than wasted chocolate. Do you know what I mean? As a fat folk like me, you don't want to see chocolate go to waste. I hope we stick to New Balance. They do nice kits, said Mark Hendley. Mark, I'm with you, mate. I like New Balance. As I've said all along, the training kits are nice. I'm not mad on the Bev Victor written on the training kits, but that's got nothing to do with New Balance. That's the sponsorship thing. The trainers are nice as well. The kits are nice. I'm sound with New Balance as well. Okay. Drop Firmino and Salah. Well, I think you mean rest, mate. We don't use the word drop around our own players because they're too damn good to be dropped, any of them. But yeah, I think you're right. Maybe rest 1 or 2 of them. Have them on the bench though, because you do need to have the options there if you want, if we need them. You know, you never know what might happen. Congrats to Mr. Steamer on becoming a mod, said Dodge76. Are you going to do a watch along on the Barca United game? Indeed I am, Solid Geezer. Indeed I am, mate. Half an hour before kickoff, as always. We don't schedule those ones because people do copyright hunts where they basically fucking surf around trying to find people doing these streams, and if they're scheduled they can take you down before you even start. So we always try to, well, we don't break the rules anyway, but we always, just go live. We never schedule them, so just be expecting us to kick off half hour beforehand. The Knicks Brick said Jose Enrique beats the Brain Tumor, which, yeah, it's lovely, isn't it? It's lovely to hear good news like that. I was delighted to read it before I came on. Genie looked good coming on against Chelsea. That rest did him good, said LFC. Fargy? Who the fuck is Fargy? Fergie starting the mind games as if he wants us to lift it, said Billy. Craig, is Werner a striker? Do you think he'll get LFC goals? Yes, he is a striker. He started out as a wide player, but now he is a striker. He has been for a couple of seasons for Leipzig. Will he get goals for Liverpool? Yes, because I believe he's stalled a little bit in his progression, but let's not forget he's only 22, 23, something like that, and working under Jurgen Klopp with those other forwards around him. I think he'd come on leaps and bounds. Radical Gambino, I think he'd be an absolute superstar for Liverpool. We seen yesterday as well, it came out that Leipzig said that they've basically been told that Timo Werner is not going to agree a new deal at the club. He's 1 year left after this season, which means that he's most likely going to be sold in the summer. Ralf Rangnick is leaving as well, is leaving Leipzig, and Nagelsmann is coming in to be the new first team coach there, so looks like he'll have to plan for a life without Timo Werner. But you know what, maybe he'll cash in, maybe he'll bring in a couple of players. I hope Timo Werner ends up at Liverpool. I really, really hope that he does. Great news on Jose Enrique, said Cameron. What else we got? Sorry, just trying to catch up. So many comments. My cousin's a Spurs fan and he's determined that his team can win the league. Well, not this year, surely, but in the future. I kind of look at Spurs. I know we use the phrase B-Tech a lot, but bear with me when I say this. I kind of look at Spurs like a B-Tech version of us. A club that's trying to do things the right way. I say B-Tech because they're a little bit behind in some parts of their development. They have that fantastic new stadium now, which can become one of two things. It can either be a milestone around their neck, where they have to, service the debt, and I don't know what the case is. Daniel Levy said that the debt's entirely manageable and that they will have money to spend on players. If Pochettino stays there and he's given money to spend on players, then yes, Spurs can become a force because they're a very well-run club with currently a very good, fairly young squad. Yes, they might lose Christian Eriksen in the summer, but they've always been clever about how they've invested their money. So let's wait and see. They're not winning jack shit this year, but I think they're going to be a top 4 club for a time to come. Dave, how are you, mate? Dave's in as well. I think City can knock Spurs out of the Champions League and Spurs will take points off them in the league, said Farah 9. God, I just want those fuckers to drop points somewhere. I can't get my head around the fact that we could end up on 97 points and not win the league. I just can't comprehend that in my head. It even sounds ridiculous saying it out loud. Off to Turin for the game tomorrow. Roberto, my friend, have an absolute ball. I hope you enjoy it, mate. I hope it's a wonderful occasion. I'd love to see some pictures if you take some pictures of the game as well. But enjoy yourself, mate. Stay safe. Enjoy your travels. Enjoy the game. Who would you rather face in the semis? Barcelona! There you go. There's your answer. I don't want to play United. I want to see United burn to the fucking ground. I want the club to fall apart and become a shambles. Be easier to beat United over 2 legs, but do you know what? I think we can do Barcelona as well. And the reason I say Barca, as well as the fact that I don't want to play United, because no, I've had enough of them. If Barcelona, or if United got through and City got through, then the fixture would be flipped, and instead of having the second leg of the semi-final at Anfield, we'd have it at Old Trafford because of that whole UEFA thing about the clubs not being able to play in the same city on the same week. So if Barca get through, we know for a fact if we get through to face them that we will have the second leg at Anfield of the semi-final, and that's a big thing. Connor said, if you go to youtube.com/c/Anfield Agenda/live, you'll be brought to our live page where you can wait before the game and be in the chat. So if anybody, when we're doing watch-alongs and we don't schedule them, boom, as Connor has just said there, you can pop into the chat and wait there. This is why Connor is the YouTube man and he's in charge and I'm just a tits and ass. Being honest, I'm not a big fan of the league kit, but I feel I might get used to it, said Will. I mean, it's not going to be for everybody. The kits never are. Last year I remember the same thing. The closest I think anybody's ever come to going, oh shit, yeah, that's a good kit, was the one last season's kit. I think 95% of us were like, shit, that's a damn nice kit. That's a damn fine kit. We need De Bruyne, Werner, Son and Mbappe. I mean, it's a little bit optimistic, buddy. What else we got? Mo Salah's stance after the goal. Liver bird back on its perch. I think it was more a religious stance, mate. I think. But either way, the goal. Wow. I know that Alex Ferguson is a big fan of Jurgen Klopp. Alex Ferguson said so before Klopp joined Liverpool, said Radical Gambino. I'd definitely take the little centre-back, mate. That would be magnificent. Could Steven Gerrard manage Liverpool in the next 5 years? I don't see why not. I'm not going to lie, I want Jurgen Klopp to be here for the next 10 years, but if Jurgen Klopp moves on at the end of his contract, which I think has 5 years left on it, and Steven Gerrard continues to progress with Rangers, maybe gets a couple of years in somewhere else, Scott, yeah, I don't see why not, mate. I think that's the grand plan, isn't it? And everybody has hopes that Steven Gerrard will come back and manage Liverpool Football Club someday. Are there any other watch-alongs that are not Liverpool you plan on doing? Yes, I'm going to do the United Manchester City one as well, mate. And depending on what way the Champions League semis are set up, maybe the other semis, if they're not all at the same time, which I imagine they won't be because that would be just stupid. So yeah, probably the Champions League semi-finals as well. I think that'll probably be it. Maybe, depending on how the season goes. I mean, if City drop points, I might do both their games and our games as the season go on. Let's just wait and see and play it by ear. I'll do as much as I can. That much I can always promise you. Anyone that watches the channel knows that I try to stream as often as I can. Do you think we'll get all 12 points on offer? Yes, Billy, I do. I was worried about the last 3 games, as in the Spurs, Southampton, Chelsea game. Now I'm really confident we're going to get to 12 points. My only fear is that Manchester City haven't lost since January, and they're still fucking eking out wins, mate. And this is a difficult period for them to get through. If they get through the next 4 or 5 games, and including Champions League and that in there, oh, I don't know. I don't know, but we're going to be there. We're going to be fighting right till the very last day of the season. United will take a point off them, said DD Morgan. Been supporting Liverpool for 50 years, said Iranian Pride. I love them regardless, win or lose. I'm right with you, my friend. It's a religion to an extent, isn't it? It's a calling, it's a cause, it's a feeling, and you can't explain it. It's mad. Sometimes I've often said, imagine coming down and talking to aliens and trying to explain to them why you're in love with this club and this sport and how it means so much to you. It's irrational at times, buddy, but we do all love them. It's not Liverpool related, but where do you think Newcastle will finish? I don't even know where they are now, mate. Once they got to a point where they were safe, I've got to be honest, I almost stopped paying attention. I wanted them to be safe. I wanted Rafa to keep them up. I really like Newcastle as a club, as a city, as a group of people. And of course they've got Rafa there as well, but I don't know. 12th, 11th? I haven't got a clue, buddy. Craig, mark my words, us Liverpool fans will be celebrating Man United last minute equaliser or winner next week, said Mark McDonald. I will probably celebrate that every bit as much so as I've celebrated a Liverpool goal if I'm live streaming and it happens, mate. If it affects us and it gets us closer to that Premier League title, then fuck me, am I going to celebrate it? I don't give a shit if it's a United goal. Jared McCauley said De Ligt, Werner, Sessegnon would be a classic transfer window. It would be an excellent transfer window as well, Jared, it really would. Scott Wilson, how are you, mate? Welcome into the chat. Spurs linked to Maddison as Eriksen replacement. What's your thoughts on that one, boy? I mean, you made the comment, but what's your thoughts on it? Unlikely to happen as he's contracted to 2024. See, you've already answered it for me. Brilliant. Could Steven Gerrard manage Liverpool in 5 years? I've just done that one. Liverpool will win the double, but next season the Toffees will go one better and do the treble, said Harold Steptoe. Mate, come on. Come on. Anyway, on that, Harold, what business would you like to see Everton doing in the summer? I mean, we have you in. You've always been very active in the chat. You've always been good fun. What would you like to see Everton do in the summer, mate, with regards to transfer business? Gokul said, after Fulham, I was spouting expletives, but now I'm in awe of the resilience. What a team spirit. Yes, man, you've nailed that. You've just nailed that comment, Gokul. It's just a team full of guys that will not give up and fight to the very end. It's a team that we should be proud of. It's a team that are resilient, and it's a team that seems to have learned from lessons past. Connor said, I'm too nervous for this City United game. I'm probably more nervous for that game, mate, than I am of any of ours, because we've no control over it. At least when Liverpool are playing, you know, if we show up, if we do what we're capable of, we can get something. United are pretty shit. And let's be fair about that. They are pretty shit at this moment in time. I just hope they've got something to play for. I really do hope that they have it in their heads that they need to get that top four. And that they put in a performance. Salah's celebration was a big peace and love sign to those Chelsea prats, said David. We need a Craig chant. We really don't, mate. He's a bald nonce. Yes, he is. He's a big bald nonce. Yes, he is. He's a big bald nonce. Yes, he is. That Craig lad's a BTEC Goldbridge. There you go. I've made up your song for you, because that's pretty much everything I get thrown at me anyway. Craig, I'm trying to sweet talk Louise into buying me that new shirt. I don't know, mate. Keep talking. And if you can't sweet talk her into buying it, Stephen, just fucking buy it for yourself, mate. Anyway, and buy her one for good measure, just because you're a good lad. Kev said, for the sake of the Premier League, I really hope we win this. I just can't see anyone challenging them again for a long while if they win it, because the money and the players that they'll attract. I'm with you, Kev. Everything you've said there, I'm with you on all of it. Paul Ward said we should sign Fekir. Did you see the club laying their wreaths today? Great touch. I did see the image of that, Paul, and it was a lovely touch, as you'd expect. The Fekir thing, I was very intrigued by the comments that came out saying that it was more than the knee, that the deal didn't happen, and I'd be intrigued to find out a little bit more about that. As a player, look, he's quality. I can't argue that. He's definitely quality. Brian said, my phone has crashed this stream about 15 times now. Anybody want a Samsung phone in 14,000 pieces tomorrow? Nah, mate. I'm an Apple user. You can stick your Samsung. Maddison should go to Spurs. Pochettino turns young English players to legends, said Liverpool legend. Willow said, Cape Town Muslim, a 3 pose is one of the strongest poses you can do in yoga. So I think he was telling them, I may bend, but you will not break, which is, that's a beautiful way. Oh, that's beautiful, Willow. That's a lovely way of summing that up. This is what you guys are so much fucking better than me with all this stuff. I just curse, call people bastards, and shout a lot. But the real intelligence and the real content on this channel comes from you guys, the subscribers. Nelson said, my semi-final opponent will be Barcelona, but I want the game to end on penalties. Why? Why on earth, mate? No, I can't go through another penalty shootout. I want us to just draw 0-0 away from home. No, 1-1 actually away from home, and then beat them 2-0 at Anfield. That'll do the job. Gareth said, Craig, if City draw points at Old Trafford, does that mean Liverpool need to beat Huddersfield to win the league? As it stands, mate, if City were to draw at Old Trafford and we won all of our games and they won all of their games, we'd win the title by a point. Is that right? Or 2 points? City drew. Hang on. If City drew and we kept winning, so we're what? A point? What are we now? 2 points ahead? Yeah, we'd win the league by a point, I think. Is that right? I don't know, 1 or 2 points? I can't think at the minute. So we'd possibly finish on 97. Yeah, we'd win by a point. Sorry, a point. But oh God, it's just them dropping points, mate. That's what we need them to do. Darren Calvin said, congratulations on 11k. Thank you very much. What happened to Gomez and Chamberlain? Well, Gomez is almost back to fitness. Got cool. He was on the bench recently. Chamberlain, he's still getting minutes in the under 23s, and I wouldn't imagine we're going to see much of him this season, to be honest. Newcastle away with Rafa as manager makes me nervous, said Cape Town Muslim. I heard Graham Souness talking about that as well, saying that he believes that's Liverpool's most difficult remaining game. I tell you what, I'm going to say this again. If Manchester City drop points, we will fucking win these 4 games. Come hell or high water, we will win these 4 games. In fact, I think we'll win them anyway. I think this team, this group are just too resilient. Every time they've been asked questions, they've answered. I just have full belief in these guys. What I don't have belief in is anybody against Manchester City, because we've no control over that. So that's a worry to me. But what we're going to do, I'm very confident. I'm a Man United fan. Hope you win the Premier League. Thank you very much, Clive. That's really kind of you, mate. If you could do me a favour though and try and get your lads to get something for us against City. R2 Dan2 said Goldbridge is lesser than Craig, if I'm being honest. I'll leave that for you, Mark. You know I like Mark. Mark runs a really good channel. A very, very popular, very successful channel. It's just the same. It's a shame it's such a shithouse club that he supports, but Mark's a good dude. My uncle is a big Manchester United fan, and I'm a Liverpool fan, so I always want to battle when Manchester United play Liverpool, said Kate. There's a couple of those situations in families, Kate, where some family members support Liverpool, some support United. Most of my extended family will be United fans, but there's a couple of Liverpool fans scattered through there, and it's been tough over the last 25-30 years being a Liverpool fan. 1 point, Connor, thank you. 1 point, said Liverpool FC fan 9 as well. Oh yes, there you go. Dominic Walsh has reminded me of something that I had in the chat to talk about. German publication Bild are reporting that Liverpool are looking to trigger the rumoured £22 million release clause in Julian Brandt's contract with Bayer Leverkusen. Now, we've heard about our interest in Julian Brandt going back a couple of years now. They also report that the likes of Real Madrid, Juventus and other European clubs are looking at Julian Brandt. Now, 22 million quid release clause is ridiculous for a player of his quality, so I'd be absolutely amazed if loads of clubs aren't looking at him, and I'd be even more amazed if he doesn't end up at Bayern Munich, if I'm being honest. But let's wait and see what happens. He is quality. We know that the manager likes him. We know that the manager tried to get him before. Yeah, I just want to know what you guys think on it. Who was it that reminded me of it again? I just want to say thank you again. Dominic Walsh. Thank you, Dominic. Yeah, I mean, Would he work out with the club? 100%, Dominic. He's a very talented footballer. It's been quite quiet as well, hasn't it? On him, like usually with a player like that, you would see a shitload of links, and maybe I'm just missing stuff because I haven't been looking, but there hasn't been much until recently on Julian Brandt. But yeah, I'd take him. I'd absolutely take him. Loads of people as well just reminded me that it was 1 point. Thank you. Yes, but your goal celebrations are legendary, said Billy. I said this to Sabrina, my wife, earlier on. It's funny because that's what I'm like when I'm watching TV at home. If I'm watching Liverpool playing and I'm not streaming, I shout at the referees, I shout at the telly, I throw stuff around the living room, I call everybody bastards, and that's exactly how I react at home. It's not put on for the cameras. Connor will tell you, Connor has watched games with me with no cameras on, and I'm screaming the same type of stuff at the television, telling people to shut the fuck up, telling players to stop smiling, and that's just the way I am. I believe United will take points off City. We need 4th place, said Paul Ward. We're 2 points ahead, but City have a game in hand, so a point, said Azzy. Okay, what else we got? Will Rafa put out a weaker side against us for close to winning the league? I don't think so, Scotty. He's a professional, first and foremost. I don't think he will. I think he will put out a team that he believes can get a result, and that's what Rafa has always said over the years. He puts out teams he believes can get a result. Craig, I want to be able to see watch-alongs until June. Yeah, it'd be nice, Willow. Champions League. Oh, God, can you imagine? Can you imagine a double? I mean, dare we let ourselves think about a double, but wow, be an amazing season. Iranian Pride said there's no ifs, ands or buts. We will win the league. I love your confidence, sir, and I hope you're right. We'll do some celebrating if that happens, my friend. Well, Rafa, now I've done that one. I drink loads of points when we win the league, said Tom. And you'll have earned them, Tom, mate. You'll have earned those points. Hello, Craig. How's tricks? Can I just take a minute to say all my thoughts with the families and everyone to do with the 96 gone but never forgotten. Rest in peace. Very classy of you, Lee, mate. Lovely comment. I'm keeping very well, by the way, as well. Thank you for asking. Whoever blinks first will lose the title. I think you've nailed that, Azzy. I think that's true. Whoever drops any points now is bye-bye. The only way it goes to goal difference is if we draw one and then they lose one, which will lose us the title, to be fair, because I don't see us catching them on goal difference. I think they're 7 or 8 ahead and they have a game in hand. So yeah, the goal difference thing I think we can forget about. I think we're at a point where whatever happens now, we're going to have to win those last 4 games and hope City drop a point somewhere. Or 2 points, I should say. Can you actually imagine the scenes if we do the double, said Connor. Fuck me. I don't think I'd quite do that if we won the double, mate. I love you and all, you're my mate. But there's no way I'm fucking you if we win the double. That's just not happening, mate. I mean, you know. Just no. It's just not happening, pal. I know that's not what you were asking, but that's the way I read your comment, so I had to finish the statement. Get the card out, you Toby little cunt. Yeah, that's something I've said as well. You better beat Wolves, said Boya. We will. It comes down to it, mate. We will. Wouldn't it be something if Kenny came to Goodison Park? As in Sir Kenny? As in to manage? Am I confusing something here, Harold? Mate, I'm not sure. Because that isn't going to happen. I could hear your son in the background shouting woo, said Familiar to Brilliance. Yeah, he started doing that and he started going around singing Mohammed Salah's song now as well, which I love. Liverpool to be champion, said Eustache. Gokul said Mo Salah's goal was splendid, but I watched your celebration to relive it. Thank you, mate. Connor's just writing in stuff that I've said, silly stuff that I've said, watching stuff. We were over at the screening of the semi-final of the Champions League when we were playing Roma, and I was screaming over a corner, and Connor didn't understand why at the time. I was screaming at the referee, that was a fucking corner. I was 1 corner short of winning a massive bet, as well as Liverpool qualifying for the final, and everybody's looking around at me going, why is this lunatic screaming about a corner? Yeah, fucking asshole didn't give me a corner. I think I lost out on about 400 quid. I'm very well, thank you, Louise. I hope you're keeping well as well. What's your thoughts on the so-called new home kit? It is the new home kit, Liam. Footy headlines have never got a Liverpool kit wrong that I'm aware of. When they leak shit, they generally get it right. I think it's nice. It's tough to see without more detail and without seeing it up close. But first impressions are that it has promise. And it's divided opinion by the looks of it. Connor, for instance, hates it. October, when I showed it to October, she wasn't too overly gone on it either. All the matches are hard, but Liverpool are the best, said Iranian Pride. Brian Morrissey said, pretty obvious replacement for Robin at Bayern, but usually when they take a player, they announce it really early with regards to Julian Brandt. Spurs will score at the Etihad. I wouldn't be so confident that they'll get through, but I don't know what would suit us better considering they play again at the weekend. Yeah, it's difficult. I'd rather they got something at the weekend, obviously, and got knocked out of the Champions League, and Spurs got something off them at the weekend. But yeah, it's difficult. But if Rafa makes us drop points, do you think it'll harm his legacy? No, not one bit. Because it won't be Rafa that makes us drop points, mate. It'll be the players on the field. Whatever happens, our players have to go and do a job. Rafa is a professional. Rafa does his job. Rafa's legacy at this club, because what he does around Hillsborough, what he does for local charities, what he does for local children, and what he's always done himself and his wife, no, his legacy can never be tarnished, I think, at this football club. I think Salah's celebration was aimed at the Chelsea fans, said Soldier Boy. He was asked afterwards if he does yoga, but it's like a karma pose. Rafa wants a result, no chance of any favours there. He's scouts through and through, but he won't lie down, said Paul Ward. And I agree, and I wouldn't expect anything less from Rafa because he's a thorough professional. Morgan Rake said, I'm a United fan and I would rather let you win the league than Manchester City. And thank you, Morgan. And do you know what, I agree, and not just because I know they're your City rivals, but it's the way Liverpool have gone about it, the way they've built it up, the way that they've invested the money. They've tried to do everything within their means, and we know what's going on with Manchester City. Whether that's ever proven or not, let's wait and see. James Park said, I love your celebration when Liverpool scores. Thank you, I appreciate that, mate. Jason said Kenny from South Park. That's much more likely to happen, him going to Goodison Park, than Kenny Dalglish. Connor Crosby said, we're winning and going through, and this mad cunt beside me, giving out about a corner because it wasn't given. Yeah, that's true. Unfortunately, I'd love to tell you that's not a true story, but it is. Demalade said, Craig, I hear Man United fans saying they'll lose to City on purpose. Is this what the club has become? Well, fortunately, buddy, the fans don't have jack shit to do with that game. It's down to the players, and the players and the manager of Manchester United have shareholders to answer to, and CEOs to answer to, and people that own the club to answer to, and they have to try and qualify for the Champions League because there's massive money at stake for qualifying for the Champions League. So Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, after coming in to take over there as manager, some of his signings are going to be dependent on Champions League football. So they're going to want as much money as possible, so they're going to have to try and get something from that game. So the fans can dream up whatever bullshit scenario they want in their head, but at the end of the day, they have to try and get something from it. Are we not signing with Nike soon? Any deal that might be done, Luke Johnson, any potential kit deal won't be for next season because we always had 1 year left with New Balance. It'll be for the 2020-2021 season. And yes, it does seem we're in negotiations with Nike, but it seems like Adidas could also be coming to the party as well there. And of course, New Balance have a matching clause, which means if they want, they can match any offer, and Liverpool are, I think, obliged to go with New Balance. But I can't see them matching the type of money that's been mentioned here. What is it, like fucking 75-80 million a year, something like that, over 10 years. Billy Dalton said, is it just me or does anybody else see the look of pressure on Pep's face in the last 2 games? He's cracking and his team is looking more on edge weekly, thanks be to God. It's mad, isn't it? Sometimes I don't know whether we're imagining stuff or we're looking to see stuff that isn't there, but I hope you're right, Billy. I hope they're cracking. I hope they're feeling the pressure. The media are doing everything they possibly can to make it a nice, gentle, easy ride for Manchester City. They are almost carving the quadruple into stone as we speak. I don't know why they'd be carving it into stone, but I couldn't think of another way of phrasing it. What's your prediction for the Porto game away? 2-2 maybe, Mark, something like that. I mean, it depends what squad we put or what team we put out. We're capable of beating them, but I think once we score once, that's it, game over, because there's no way we're conceding 4 against Porto away and only scoring 1. I think we're going through, if I'm being honest, if we score, and I do think we will score. Fun fact, Burnley have always won a game against the previous year's champions, said David Lone. I mean, I'll take that as well, that'll do. any of these little fun facts, I'm happy to read out and happy to take on board. How much money do we get if we win the league? I'm not sure, because you've got to take into account what place you finish in the league. Then there's TV revenue as well. It's quite complicated, Scotty. I don't know the exact amount. You can Google it. They do give out the prize money. I just don't know when you add the TV money onto it and stuff, because it depends how many games have been televised and all that kind of stuff. And of course we've got Europe as well, but I don't know what the Premier League prize money is offhand, but you can definitely Google it because the information is available. But please not Nike, said Alex. I want New Balance, said Scotty. Liam Granby said, you're at first, mate. I don't like it, but see a few pics of it and it's growing on me slowly. Still not sure of it. You got to see it up close, I think, Liam. We've got to see better pictures of it before we know. Anto said, hiya Craig. Spurs, I think Spurs are getting beaten on Wednesday and they need top 4. Yeah, somebody do us a favour and take fucking points off City. I don't care if it's United, I don't care if it's Spurs. Just somebody take some fucking points off them. Next Premier League game is away against Cardiff on Sunday. Liverpool and Leicester scored the most goals from counter-attacks since 2017. 15 goals each, which is interesting. Thank you, LFC Tim. If we win the league, shirt deal will be worth around 80-85 million per year. If we also win the Champions League, it could be worth 90 to 100 million per year. It's going to be interesting. Whatever happens, it looks as if the shirt deal Liverpool will negotiate will be the largest one in the Premier League. Currently, that would put us third, I think, in the world behind Real Madrid and Barcelona. I think they've got the 2 biggest shirt deals, but I might be wrong. Willow said, Ollie better get some fucker to take the wheel for the match and put him on the pitch instead. He'd probably do more good. Match day 37, we play Rafa's team and City play Brendan Rodgers' team. Difference being though, Krishna, we're away against Newcastle and they're at home against Leicester. You always want your games at home. Carving into plastic, Jason. Yes, you've nailed it. I should have gone with that one. Do you think we'll win the title next season? I haven't got a clue, John. It depends how everybody strengthens over the summer. But what I will say is we will be in the argument for the next few seasons because we're building for a long-term success. Jamie Murray, how are you, mate? Hi guys, reply to me, up the Reds. Salah goal is goal of the season, said James Parks. All of these defending champions haven't been that good though, said Liverpool legend. Yeah, I mean this is a special Manchester City group of players, to be fair. Bastards. If we win the Champions League, does that mean Keane, Hoover and Oxlade-Chamberlain get a medal for being in the squad? I'm not actually sure what the rules are when it comes to Champions League medals, mate. I know in the Premier League you've got to have 5 league appearances. I couldn't tell you what way the medals work in the Champions League. I have no idea. I'm sure somebody in the chat will be able to give you better information than me on that one. League winners and Champions League winners got about 170 million, said Paul Ward. Nelson said, I'll predict 1-0 to Liverpool. I think that's for the game against Porto on Wednesday. Gerard McCauley said 4 games left in the league, 4 games left in the Champions League. Dare we dream? You got to dream, mate. You've got to. Why not? We've come this far. Why not dream? We're defo wrecking City's heads. Pep's watching golf. Gundogan crying that we just got lucky getting skiddy undies over there. Yes, Tom, love it. Let them keep getting those skiddy undies. Hope nobody washes them for them either. Hope they left with shitty undies. Dave Sweeney said Rodgers lost us the league, but he'll win it for us this time. I don't think he did really lose us the league. That whole argument, I suppose we could keep going on about it forever. The only thing I will kind of say is that maybe he could have set us up for a point against Chelsea, but the team were so used to steamroller and other teams that maybe he would have thought it dangerous to try and set up for a point. I don't know. It's history anyway. If you don't play a minute and you don't get anything, said Evil or is it Evil in the Days? Imagine we done the double and Oxlade-Chamberlain got neither medal. I think the club in the league, I know anyway, I think the club get a couple of medals they can do what they want with, so I'd imagine he'd get one of those. Once Manchester City players start to get old, then our chance to get a roll on, said Nathan Hilton. Do you think VVD is the best defender in the world? I think he has to be in the conversation, James. Winning a couple of things would help his cause with Liverpool, but yes, I believe he has to be in the conversation. On form, I believe, yeah, he might well be. But there are some very good defenders around the world. But I think he definitely has to be in the conversation. Would you mind winning the Champions League but not the Premier League? Obviously, I wouldn't mind it. I mean, Jesus, you'd never give out about winning the Champions League. I think it's fair to say most of us, mate, don't want that Premier League title. If we'd already put a Premier League title in the bank, so let's say we won 13-14, for example, then I got to be honest, I love a European Cup, so I'd be edging towards the Champions League. But the fact that we haven't won a top division title in 30 years, it's got to be the Premier League. It's got to be. But after that, this club loves the European Cup, so why not go for both? Let's be greedy. Clean sweep on the individual awards front. I just pray that we win the league, please God, said John. What county are you from? Asks Sir Klopp. I live in Wexford now, mate, but I'm originally from Dublin. Just started an LFC channel from America, said Cop TV USA. Welcome, mate. I wish you the best with your channel. I hope it goes well. The more people making Liverpool content out there, the better. Because, let's face it, we're the best fucking fans in the world and we've got a lot to say. What are you going to do if we win the league? I don't know, Thomas Gaming. I don't know. We're going to be in Liverpool on May the 12th. Myself, Connor, October. I think Kev might be trying to get up as well. So we're going to be over in the city. Hopefully we're celebrating something, but I just don't know. I've often thought about it, Thomas. I don't know. It depends on the circumstances of how we win it. There will be tears. I don't know if they'll be on in front of camera or not, but there's definitely going to be tears. It'll be special. If it happens, it'll be special. And I don't mean my reaction will be special. I mean the moment for us all. It'll just be special. You get discretionary medal, said Brian. The special city team that bought and paid for by bloodstained oil money. I may look, yes, mate. I have issues with how the squad was assembled, 100%. I'm not happy with how Manchester City have gone about business, 100%. But I still say that that's got nothing to do with Pep Guardiola and the players that put on the shirt for Manchester City every week. As much as I've been hyperly critical of that club and the way they've gone about things, I still don't feel it's got anything to do with the manager and the players. They're just employees of the club. But I agree, you know my thoughts on Manchester City and the way they've gone about things. The Maharani's closet. It feels ages, mate, since you've been in. I hope you're keeping well. Hendo is showing all why he's been Hendo is showing all why he's been giving Hendo such a hard time, because he wanted Hendo in the A from 13-14 back, and now he is back. I don't know what you mean by that one. I think you're trying to say that Hendo's showing everybody how good he can be now that he's back in the A, like he was in 13-14. Origi for his goal of the season, said LFC team. Yeah, what a goal. What a fucking goal that was. God bless Jordan Pickford's little T-Rex arms. Got to play 5 to 10 games in the Premier League to get a winning medal. As long as you play some part of the Champions League campaign, you get a medal. It's 5 for the Premier League, Liam. I remember reading this when we were sending Nathaniel Klein out on loan, because I think he'd made 4 appearances before we sent him out on loan to Bournemouth. Name a better defender, said Brian Morrissey, when it comes to Virgil van Dijk. I can't, but I'm just trying to be fair rather than just go, yep, definitely the best, yep, 100%, because that's what I want to say. Deep down, that's where your head goes. You want to say, yeah, Van Dijk's the best. Of course he's the best. What's this about kits then? It's in the thumbnail, Ben. Have you not seen the image on the thumbnail? That's the new home kit by all accounts for next season. It was released or leaked by Footy Headlines, and they usually get everything right when it comes to kits. I think if Liverpool win either the Champions League or the Premier League, then VVD will get the Premier League Player of the Year. Have those votes not already been cast? Am I wrong on this? I was sure that the votes for Player of the Season have already been cast, because didn't Van Dijk say he's already voted for Sterling? If that's the case, then it won't matter whether we win anything or not, because the votes will have been cast. Didn't get a notification, so I'm going to have to watch this back. See you soon, said Red Hulk. That really annoys me that happens on YouTube, that people don't get their notifications when they have them turned on. I always feel really bad about it, even though we've got no control over it. You're going to be streaming in the close season, Craig. 100%, Harold, mate. We're going to stream right through the summer, because I'm a whore when it comes for transfer news. So yes, we will be streaming the entire summer. We might take a day or two off here or there, but in the meantime or in the whole, yeah, all summer you'll be getting Anfield Agenda right through. We won't be taking any breaks. I mean, long breaks. We're not closing down the channel when the season's over. Not a hope. And hopefully we'll have some content for you from Crack On as well. And for next season, I want to up the level of content that we provide. So I want to make video podcasts. I want to bring more people on board, and I want to have more faces on the channel than just mine. So fingers crossed, going forward we'll continue to grow. What's so sad about Notre Dame? I believe the cathedral's on fire. If from my very limited knowledge of what's going on there, I believe my wife said that to me earlier on. I'll be coming to see you anyway, Craig, said Willow. Thank you very much. I think you're talking about on the 12th of May, Willow, I think. I hope so. It'd be lovely to say hello. It was great seeing you in the shirt, Willow. Thank you for sending us the both the video of you receiving the shirt and, of course, the image of you wearing the shirt. Willow was one of the winners of the score draw competitions. Yeah, and it's always great to see people happy with the shirt, so thank you for that. Dave said, I'm hoping to be in Liverpool on the 12th. Let us know if you are, Dave. Of course, we can do some stuff together if you're up for it when you're over there. All the players has suddenly come good, bang on time, said Cape Town Muslim. Yeah, it's been timed perfectly, hasn't it? It's been great. I'm so proud of these boys and the manager. It's been absolutely fucking great. We couldn't have asked much more from this group of players. A lot of people saying yes, the votes have been cast for player of the season, which I thought so. I occasionally get something right. Every now and again something gets right. Looks like we can let Lallana, Lovren and Klein go this window and raise 50 or 60 million for Timo Werner plus Ghulam, said Krishna. I would say on the three you've mentioned there, you're probably right, mate. I think maybe all three of those will move on. Did anybody see Salah tapping up Hazard after the game? I did see him having a chat with him, alright, but you can fucking keep eating Hazard. I don't want him near this club. Just my personal opinion on that one. Plus he's going to Real Madrid. We know that. John Hamilton said, don't forget to subscribe and drop a like, folks. It's really weird. You guys know I like to do a shout out for subscriptions on every stream, but I feel because we had such a good day yesterday, and because for whatever reason we've picked up some subscribers throughout the day, I almost felt guilty mentioning subscribers on it. But as John has mentioned it, why not? If you're enjoying the stream, please do. Please hit that button. And remember, all the content on here is free. It's always going to be free. We also had a couple of more people sign up to Patreon over the past couple of days, so thank you for that one. If you haven't signed up already and you want to check it out or see what the rewards are, maybe Connor can put it into the chat there because I can't type at the minute, but it's just patreon.com/Anfield Agenda. And the reward scheme is set up so it's a $2 reward, $2 a month thing and a $5 a month thing, and all the rewards are mentioned and set out on there. I think that's everything I'm supposed to have said. Yeah, I don't think I've forgotten anything. As you can still probably hear, I still have a little bit of a head cold, so I'm just getting over that one. Farrell said, I do wonder, Craig, if Pep didn't realise the cost of the players he was asking for and getting them would fail, to wonder how did he sign them without all the FFP discussions. I suppose, look, as a manager, you probably just say, I want him, and him. And usually a board would come back to you and say, well, look, we can definitely maybe get you him, and him, but I don't know if you've got the money for him unless you sell X and Y. Maybe he just got lucky. I don't know. Good as City is, them winning the league will be so hollow. No fans or culture, said Cape Town Muslim. Connor's jacket is smart. I wear a lot of pretty green as well, said Familiar to Billions. I mean, Connor's jacket is probably the biggest moment of the season so far for the channel. The jacket has taken on a personality of its own. It's almost got its own agent at this moment in time. It's so damn big. Some people probably watching this not having a clue what the fuck we're talking about, but Connor came to join me one time on a watch along with Brian Morrissey as well, and Connor's jacket somehow became the fucking hero of the watch along. It got more attention than anything else, which is great. Fabinho fucked Hazard in that game yesterday, said Fabian Black. Or is it Fabian? Excuse me if I've mispronounced, mate. But welcome and thank you for your comment. I have a spare room in Liverpool, said Mr. Steamer. Don't be saying that to me, mate, because I'll be cancelling hotels and showing up at your gaff with a crate of Diet Coke saying story. You know what I mean? Don't be teasing me with that shit. If we signed Hazard, that would probably be the maddest transfer ever. Yeah, it would. It would, yeah. I don't like him. I just don't like him. He's a great footballer when he's on song, but I just don't like him. We're going to win the league, said Craig Weston. Craig, I'd seen your comment earlier on, mate, that you were back in hospital. I hope you're okay. I hope the family are okay. And it's good to see you back in the chat, mate. Craig is a stopped clock. Oh, he's always right. At least twice a day. I get where you're going with that one. What else we got? Having a cold is shite. I'm stuck with hay fever, said Declan. Yeah, there's something gone around me gaff, mate. Everyone's had it. The 2 kids, my wife. And you know, it seems to be just circling around that it just won't fucking go away. But you know what? It's not going to dampen the season. It's not going to dampen this week. I'm looking forward to doing the watch along tomorrow, the Barcelona-Manchester United game, because, hey, probably your semi-final opponents, whoever gets through that tie. So don't forget, you can join us for that one about half an hour before that game kicks off tomorrow. I hope to see you then. I will, of course, be back with a late night agenda again after the Manchester United game tomorrow night. So regardless of what happens there, at 10 o'clock we'll have our usual late night stream. On Wednesday, of course, we'll have a watch along of the Porto game against Liverpool, and then we'll have a post-match show after that. And then we'll be back to normal then on Thursday as we work our way through to Sunday and the trip to Cardiff to take on Neil Warnock's Cardiff City. Where did that person go? Someone during the stream, someone had an account called Connor's Jacket. Yeah, they did as well, actually, that's true. Craig, to be fair, you'll never walk alone or ferry across the Mersey. You'll never walk alone. It's just a beautiful song that's so fitting for a football club. Ferry Across the Mersey is a damn nice song as well. Very easy to sing, much easier than You'll Never Walk Alone, as in like to actually physically sing the song. A travesty if a team as class as this Liverpool side don't win a trophy this season, said Craig Weston. Which, yes, it is. Rafa the Gaffer, that's who it was. I said to you all earlier on that somebody let me know about Ian Rush sharing October's tweet on the Anfield Agenda account about the match yesterday, and it was Rafa the Gaffer, so thank you for that, mate. I was waiting for you to come into the chat. I knew as soon as I seen whoever it was, I'd recognise it, and it was you, mate, so thank you for letting us know about that. It was the Bayern match. Connor's Jacket, said Dave Sweeney. It was as well, mate. When you're right, you're right. Watch along tomorrow night. Yep, we'll be doing that one. Craig, I think Isco will be in Liverpool next season. Interesting. He seems to have been linked to Ascaris for a few seasons now. And Real Madrid are definitely having a big clear out in the summer. Zidane came out and pretty much said as much. Liam said, I'm telling you now, that number 19 title is coming home, people, so get ready because it's happening. Right, a couple more comments and then I gotta head off because my voice is starting to pack up. Heading to the pool, says Far I'll keep listening. Oh, fucking laddie da, sir. I'm only joking. I wish I was warm enough to be going to a pool now, mate. I'm jealous. Mr. Rush didn't even drop us a follow, said Mr. Crosby. I'm not reading your last word. How dare you say that? I know you're joking. We can definitely get a nice wedge for Lallana, Lovren, Mignolet and a couple of other fringe players. Michael Edwards could get 60 mil for them, said Brian Morrissey. How good was Salah? He was brilliant, Craig. He was just fucking class. DB said Salah's goal deserves the Puskás Award, which is of course the award given to the best goal of the season. Is that all around Europe or the world, the Puskás Award? I'm not sure if it's just Europe or the world. It must be the world, because the World Cup goals count in it, don't they? I think we should try and get Upamecano from Leipzig, said... how do you pronounce your name? Is it not Mays? Yeah, look, he's a young, good, massive physical centre-back. I've seen a couple of clubs linked with him. I've only seen him a little bit, but he is very highly thought of. One sure way of me not reading your comment, mate, is by writing read my comment, especially when it is read my comment. If you have a comment, put it in and I'll try my best to read it. Maybe I've missed something. Oh, I think this is the one you're talking about. I know I'm going back on myself here saying one sure way of me not reading it is blah blah blah, but I also hate missing people's comments when they take the time to write them. So my favourite moment in the pre-season game was against Napoli in the Aviva. We won 5-0. At the end of the game, Alisson gave his gloves to a small fan who ran onto the pitch. I was at the game, mate. Yeah, it was lovely, and it was lovely to see the players sticking around, signing stuff and taking pictures with the kids afterwards, and they did spend a very long time out on the pitch doing that. Right, that seems as good a place as any, ladies and gents, to say goodnight to you all. I will be here tomorrow for the watch along of the Barca game. I hope you can join us for that. If you can't make that one, well then look, I'll be back here at 10 o'clock tomorrow night for the late night agenda. Until then, thank you to everyone that subscribed, and as I said at the start, take care of your family, tell your loved ones that you love them, and up the motherfucking Reds.